Hello and welcome to another episode of Fullystoned. Just two blokes that have been on the pipe all week and are looking at the NRL through extremely glassy eyes. Once again, we have Stoney back for some more dribble. Stoney, did you end up bringing your bib this week? And more importantly, are you going to push off the back fence or just bludge around the ruck like you did last week, mate?
Bludge around the ruck and push off the back fence. I'm too big and fat and lazy to push off the back fence too often. So I do a bit of push and bludge, mate. I'll do a bit of both. But yes, actually, I've got one of those dribble bags sitting on my lap that you can't see at the moment. So, but that's not just through dribble; that's through old age as well. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. So just a reminder to all like and subscribe. Give us some feedback, some comments, opinions. You know, whether it's good, bad, or even a little bit ugly. We want your thoughts. Tell us what you think. We like to engage in conversation with our viewers, don't we, Stoney? And
Absolutely.
we'll pump some videos out and read out some of your comments as we go along. So, speaking of a bit of feedback, unfortunately, it's a little bit positive for our first hit out. So, Daniel Tahana says, decent start, fellas. Mega Man says, nice work, boys. Billy Walters says, I enjoyed this one fully. And the favourite comment for the week for me was from Fat Rep Man, is Stoney single? Asking for my nan. Can you answer that one, mate?
Oh, look, mate, happily married, but, $20 is $20. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to topics this week. Now, this is courtesy of Artificial Imbecile. As you can see, I've Ashley Klein there, but it's a picture of a Sheila holding a microphone.
Well.
We've got a picture of Laurie Daley there.
That actually kind of made me turn. I'll tell you, that's what Ashley Klein looked like.
We've got a picture of Laurie Daley there who looks a cross between Dale Finucane and Roel Dravid.
Have a look at that.
Andrew Webster, we were talking about NRL, and I don't know where that picture come from. We're also going to talk about a bit of bush footy and the Socceroos. Now, just a quick question without notice. If you see up the top left-hand side there's a green leaf there, Stoney. When was the last time you had some of that stuff?
To be honest, zero. Never, ever have I indulged in the funny stuff, mate. I've been at parties and probably inhaled second-hand, what could you saw, leafy stuff, but yeah, never directly, mate. I'm a clean skin. I'm a non-drinker, non-smoker, non-drugs. I just probably bet too much.
So would you say you're basically dopey enough without it?
My friends would say, have you ever been drunk, Stoney or Stone? I said, no, I don't need to. I can act stupid without either. So I don't know what it'd be like if I ever actually got stoned or pissed. So, yeah, I can just act stupid without it. So.
All right, as we're talking about that, I'll just move my bong out of the way because there's nothing worse than the bong, smelling the bong water.
Spill the water of it. And, I went away on some cricket trips with you boys and some of the guys there. That's all, Jesus. All right. Best left for another day, those stories.
All right, so we'll move on. We'll get into it. So first up this week, we're going to talk about Ashley Klein. It's said that he's lost about 400,000 in debt to basically horse racing and greyhound addiction. I'll play a little snippet first and then we'll do a bit of a commentating.
The NRL's top referee Ashley Klein was allowed to officiate in the Code's biggest games despite having had a gambling problem that cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars. An investigation by the Herald can reveal the NRL knew of Klein's gambling issue for 4 years but let him continue to referee matches at the top level. The experienced whistleblower is the highest profile match official in rugby league. But it can be revealed Klein had a gambling habit that became the subject of an NRL investigation. According to sources with knowledge of the matter, speaking on the condition of anonymity, he lost more than $400,000 punting on horse racing with corporate bookmakers before closing his accounts and placing himself on BetStop, the National Self-Exclusion Register, in 2023. The NRL said on Friday that Klein's betting had come to its attention 7 years ago. Satisfied he was not breaching any rules, the NRL did not stand Klein down or take him out of frontline refereeing for any period of time. It is understood Klein was spoken to by the NRL about gambling since the issue first came to light, and he told them he had got it under control. Klein was contacted for comment. There is no suggestion Klein has ever acted inappropriately while officiating or breached any NRL regulation.
Okay, so the comments are 2019 grand final. I knew it all along. That's something close to your heart, isn't it? Was it the Roosters?
What, 6 again?
Yeah.
It seriously couldn't happen to a nicer coach and a nicer team, could it?
There you go. So Sam Turner says that's why he always is biased towards one team all the time. Pete says fits in nicely with a 6 again. Open for corruption, that rule. And the comment down the bottom there is gambling in sport could never be a problem. So what's your take on this one, mate?
Look, I've seen, the podcast you did the other day before Origin. I've read media. Could it be an issue? Yes. Do I really care? I'm not really fussed about it, to be honest. As long as it wasn't rugby league, I don't care, mate. I'd say really 90% of Aussie blokes and are punters on something or other. I know he's an official, but if he's not, are we that blind? We're going to say that NRL players don't bet on the NRL? Only the ones that get caught get hung. They're not betting in other people's names and other accounts. Of course they are, mate. I think every sportsman, basically, it's inbred into Aussie blokes to have a punt. And although you shouldn't, and it's frowned upon, as long as you're not betting against yourself or your team, I don't see to be honest, a problem with it. The NRL have allowed sports betting on the NRL. All right? Now, this guy, he makes some dud decisions, but we all make dud decisions in life on the punt or in real life. So if he hasn't been done and dusted, he actually self-acknowledged as well, which is another thing. It's not as though he was caught out. He actually went to the NRL and said he's got a problem. When they'd done the full investigations, even though it was kept quiet for 6 years, they'd done the investigations. It only got leaked out afterwards. So I've got no real issue with it, mate.
Yeah,
he's making bad decisions. Like, imagine if we all saying Belinda Clark's one of the worst referees you ever see. When she's officiating, a woman's going with that. Are we saying that all her decisions are based on possible gambling, or is she just a bad referee?
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't. I'm a punter. You're a punter. We all win, we all lose. You take a punt walking across the road. As long as he's not directly betting on games he's officiating in. I don't really care, to be honest. I feel for him. Good luck. I'm glad he got fixed. I'm glad he got sorted out. And credit to him for last night. Under all the pressure he would have been under and scrutiny, I thought he had a bloody good game last night. I thought the game was shithouse, but he had a bloody good game. So he had a bit of kahunas to go out there last night and ref like he did.
Yeah, I question the timing of it. Why has it come out all of a sudden? And why has it come out so long after the fact? It's easy to say it had nothing to do with the NRL, but every decision he makes now, someone's always going to question it, even more so than what they did previously.
I don't even know if they will question it more, though. People question these decisions at the best of times,
Yeah, but that's going to happen. That's the way we are.
Yeah, that's right. That's just human nature. The bunker he's got one view of it initially, hasn't he? He's got to make a split decision on the spot, like all referee. The bunkers are the ones you got to look at. The bunkers are the ones who have 10 reviews and still get the blatant things wrong. So they've got more reason to question their decisions than you have on a bloke who's making a decision in a split second on a game of footy. Yes, he can influence them. Can you imagine, look at all the cricketers, mate. How many cricketers and everything could be around fully? Right? If an Indian bookmaker come up to me and I was in the worst form of my career, like some of these Australian cricketers, and says, hey, brother, we'll give you $1 million to go out and get under 10 runs for your next 6 innings. Guess what? I'm probably going to get under 10 runs for the next 6 innings anyway. So why not get an extra $1 million for it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who cares when they came out and they wanted to accuse, was it Mark Waugh and Shane Warne of giving pitch conditions or something? Who gives a shit? You can see the pitch from a TV screen. A curator can give you the information on the pitch. So if Shane Warne said, yeah, it looks like it's going to turn, well, he's a spinner. He's going to say that, isn't he? Why not get money to say that? The deliberate ones when they're running in and bowling 3 metre no balls, when you can bet on how do you bet on how many no balls is going to be bowled in an over?
Like, I agree with that.
I've got no issue with the Klein thing. I think Stormy Nakika, he self-identified for me. He got the help he needed. Hopefully he's not punting. I wish we could all stop punting. Just not in my nature. I'm always going to have a punt, but I say good on him, mate, for coming out. Hopefully sorting the problem. We talked about Kane Evans last week when he had problems. You can imagine this would have been playing on his mental health for a long time. So he got it sorted. We said, got a problem to speak up, and he did. He got it fixed. Yes, you're right. The NRL only coming out 6 years after it. It reeks of a cover-up along the lines, and they were hoping it never got out for obvious reasons, but it did. And I just don't think he's made decisions based on who he's backed. Not at all.
Do you buy the fact that he actually went himself and put a stop on the accounts, or do you think he was told by the NRL?
I think
try and nip it in the bud before anything.
I think it's a bit 50-50. I think every organisation. We've had rugby league players over the years, mate, that have had massive drug issues, and some have been Australian Test players and everything else. And we've got the 3-strike policy, and the NRL don't want to come out and say, "Oh, this bloke's one of our superstars," and all of a sudden this bloke gets an injury from the three that sees him out for the rest of the season. Won't finish the season. Are we all just going to sit there and say, "Oh, it's because he got the injury," or are we going to probably say, "Okay, we probably know, he's probably done something behind the scenes." The NRL said, "Hey, go fix yourself up and come back clean next year, mate." They don't want all that type of stuff. That goes on behind the scenes. And if blokes are getting fixed and getting rid of their demons, fine. I got no issue with it, man. I really don't. He's just a bad punter like the rest of us. I can say he makes some bad decisions. So, but yeah, it reeks a cover up. But as I said, man, 6 years ago. You think now he's under more scrutiny? It's probably even better.
With a bit of luck now, he goes and makes a hell of a decision to affect your team.
Well, he probably does. He probably has in the past, mate. I've bagged the crap out of him at certain games. 2019 was actually the right decision. He got the decision wrong in the first place. Yeah. That's the weird thing about that one. His initial call of 6 again was wrong in that Canberra grand final, the Roosters grand final. It was obvious it wasn't a Teddy knock on. The Canberra player knocked it on. So it actually wasn't 6 again. So that was the initial decision that he got wrong. That he called 6 again and then changed it. Well, in the end, it was the right call. So I don't think anyone was punting on 6 again, though, back then.
No, that's right. So anyway, we'll move along to our next topic, which seems to be, here we go. Laurie Daley, the players deserve a shot. Absolutely no idea. We'll try and get this one going.
Yeah, it wasn't what we were expecting. Half-time, wanted to be there, be highly competitive in the first half. Second half, we missed the mark on a lot of things. They were good. Queensland were very good, as we know they always will be. But, yeah, we just missed the mark. So we're going to have a real hard look at ourselves and come up with the answers, which I'm sure we will. And good opportunity for us to go up to Queensland and try and win a series. We just weren't consistent enough with what we did throughout 80 minutes. Queensland stuck to what they do well. Once momentum happens in this game, things turn pretty quickly. So while we're disappointed, you don't lose trust or faith in guys. You know what they're capable of doing. We're just going to be able to do it. but I think for us, we just missed the mark. Yeah, we just shot ourselves in the foot. We didn't give ourselves the best opportunity, so that's on us. We're going to wear it, which I'm sure we will. But as I say, for us, it's about now, looking at what we did, making sure we're better, come with a great opportunity when we go to Queensland in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, wow. All right, so we'll just get a couple of comments before we get into it. So, Laurie has rarely hit the mark in his Origin coaching career. Laurie Daley is clueless. The experts on TV panels know how to shift the blame onto the players and won't say a damn thing about the coach. The players don't believe in this knucklehead of a coach. You don't lose the trust and faith in guys. Laurie speak with forked tongue, forgetting he dropped Hamoli, and Laurie is out of his depth. It's hard to watch. Now, a couple of things there that are quite interesting there, mate. He spoke about he has faith and trust in the players he's got. What about the players that he dropped?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, we've got an opportunity to go up to Suncorp now." And the amount of times he said, what was his favourite saying there? We missed the mark.
Missed the mark, yeah.
What do you mean? What does he mean by miss the mark?
Missed the mark, well, I suppose losing by 30 odd, you've missed a lot of marks, haven't you? Missed their marks in defence, missed the marks in attack, missed the mark game plan wise, missed the mark selection wise. Take your pick. There's so many marks they missed.
And why did they miss the mark?
Well, exactly right. Look, there's many things, right? And I hope my paramates don't think I'm Moses bashing, because this isn't just directed at Moses. Number one, the selections. Moses and Cleary, I've said it on many social media things at the moment and posting it, they can't coexist in the same representative team, number one. 2 dominating halves. Now, Reece Robson, I was watching him in the middle of the field, and a couple of times he's getting a call to the left, whoever's on that side, and then he's getting a call to the right. He's looking both ways going, well, where am I passing it? So he was as confused as hell, which meant that none of your forwards up the middle were hitting the ball up. You've got to earn the right to go wide. Yet they wouldn't run up through the middle. They bashed Queensland through the middle in game 1. This game, they just wanted to go wide because all of a sudden Moses is calling on one side and bloody Cleary's calling on the other side. Like, Reece Robson was confused as hell. Reece Robson couldn't run the ball. He had an ordinary game for a very good player. He had an ordinary game. I don't know if he was just confused. I think that's what it was. You can't have those 2 in the same team. I'm sorry. I don't think they've been successful with the 2 in the same team. When one of them's playing and one of them's on the field, even that last, I think, 15 minutes, I think Moses might have got hooked or injured. I'm not too sure that last 15 minutes when Eden Strange come on. New South Wales looked a hell of a lot better, even though they were getting flogged. But Cleary started to run the ball more. You just can't have them both on the field at the same time. Tony Staggs, like, oh my God. Seriously, him and Tino are 2 of the most overrated players in NRL. But Tony Staggs, like, he's just brain dead. He makes the dumbest mistake. He can do the most super thing, but then he'll play 74 minutes of rubbish. And that's what he did. Like, the tackle he done on Ponga, was there any need for the tackle on Ponga?
No, that was, I think, a bit of frustration and brain snap, I suppose.
Brain snap, but there's no need for it, is there? It ended up, did it contribute to the loss? No, they're probably gone anyway.
Yeah.
But it contributed to them not being able to actually get back into the game as well. Like, it was just stupid brain snap. It was dumb. I know he was trying it hard, but he forced some mistakes. He held on to the ball for too long. You got Mark Nawong-Nawaze on the wing. All he got was cut-out balls from Cleary because Tony Staggs wasn't even going to pass the ball out there.
Yeah.
It was just, it just got in the way. Like, even blokes like loyal servants, the captain, Isaiah Yeo. Look, you're using him totally wrong. What is he? Was he playing front row? Because he just seemed like he was just a battering ram. Because you've got the 2 ball-playing halves, he was not needed as a ball-playing back rower, was he?
No.
Because what was he doing? He was just hitting the ball up and tackling. So I feel for him. But, is he past his use-by date? Do you have to get Cameron Murray into that role at lock?
They looked a lot better when he come on the field.
But that's what I mean. Does he start at lock? And and it's time to say, like what they did with Trebojevic. You know, Jake Trebojevic, he got dropped as captain.
Yeah.
They were a different beast when Murray was on the field, and Radley should play 20 minutes of each half. He played probably too much last night. He's an impact player at Origin level. You know, he's going to impact in defence, and he can bust the line and hit holes. You know, Hudson Young gets in the way too much. Once he can play, but oh my God, they're in the attack in the 20, and he wants it every second play.
Yeah.
It just gets in the way. So there's so many things they can fix in that side. You know, I would, as much as I love Teddy, I want Teddy at the Roosters. I don't want him playing Origin. So I do hope they bring Edwards in for that sake. I don't want him playing Origin. Roosters showed last week without all our Origin players, we're a hot mess. So I hope all our players get dropped for the game 3 on both sides. So
I think obviously there's bucket loads of pressure on Daley, and there always going to be, because he's only won 1 series out of 7, right? So
but I've seen media posts today. 2 different media sources came out today and were going, "Oh, you know, we need to get a new coach for game 3, and Flano's available." Like, seriously? Did they say what Flano's done for St. George?
Is that a G up?
No, they were both posting on there. There was a couple of media posts on one of them. I think it was called the Mole.
Yeah,
Mole website, and another one, I forget the other one. I think it was a lot of comments about it and saying, hey, "What are you doing? Like, how can you suggest Flanagan?" The only time he won a premiership was when they were on the roids, mate, on the peptides. You know, he got off lightly for that. So,
I don't think it matters who they bring in, and whether it's next year or whenever, but they just need to change the way they play. Like, we've always got the better players.
Yeah.
But I think what actually happens, we play with a bit too much structure, and it's all like most teams play the same these days. It's basically copy and paste. And but just the difference is a lot of other teams just do it better than most. But in Origin, you're playing against the best players, and Queensland's line speed is really good. Whether it's they're onside or not, that's debatable. But it's the same for both sides. And if you notice
exactly
the
right.
10 and 9 coverage last night, you never get to see the line itself in defence. It's too close to the ruck, so you never get to see where they're offside. Next thing you know, you see Sam Walker up real quick. I'm thinking, geez, he's got up really quick, but they never zoom out enough so you can actually see it.
Look, as long as it's the same for both sides, I don't know. I know. We all know Origins ref differently, don't we? Yeah. So it's up to the players, though. It's up to the players out there. They'll see how the refs ref in the game. Yeah, they've been around long enough. They're elite players. They're not park footballers who don't understand what's going on. Been around long enough to know, okay, after 10 minutes, this is what he's looking at. We can get that extra metre in defence. You know, we can probably creep up 8 metres instead of 10 metres back. He's allowing it, you know. We can lay that little bit longer in the ruck. Queensland are masters of Harry Grant and all that. You know, they mastered it in Melbourne. You have a look how they can slow that play the ball down. And they do it everywhere and get away with it all the time, and good luck to them. I say New South Wales should try the same thing. But
I think the difference too, Queensland just because they had that dominance and they had a fair few Melbourne players in there, they got that mentality next man up. It doesn't matter what form they're in or what ability they have. They've just got one job to do, and as long as you do your job to the best, it's generally good enough. And that's where I think New South Wales don't do it. They just rely, we've got some really good players. They'll get us. Tedesco's in good form. Cleary's the best halfback in the game. Like, they'll get us over the line instead of just doing your job individually.
Yeah. No, look, I was Adam from the start. As I said, I love Tedesco, and I wouldn't want anyone to fall back at the Roosters. They should have picked Edwards to start with, number one. That's through my own bias towards the Roosters. I didn't want him playing for New South Wales, to be honest. But you've got to look to the future as well. You know, he's mid-30s, only probably got 2 or 3 years left in the game. So why not let Edwards go through? You know, why we keep persisting with the Isaiah Yo's when you've got a Cameron Murray sitting there in the wings, to come in. Yeah, a lot of their forwards, Olakau'atu. Getting rid of Olakau'atu was an awful decision. It was just dumb. Now, Lucas will be ready. I think Dylan Lucas will be an Origin player, but not just yet. He's playing in a Newcastle side who were beaten up on the bad teams. But, you know, that was Lucas's first chance up against the big boys, basically. And although he wasn't great, he wasn't awful. But you throw him to the wolves when Ola Kawatu done nothing wrong in game one, and you can't just say, I just want to give the guy a chance. It's Origin.
Yeah, that's right.
Give the guy a chance. What are we going to give him, a participation medal like we do in kids' sports these days? Reward mediocrity.
That's what it seems to be.
But that's what I mean. How do we? I don't know.
All right, that's depressing, isn't it? So we'll just
it is.
We'll move on.
And I think that's a shame because Laurie Day is actually, he comes across as a real nice bloke.
Yeah, but nice blokes don't always make good coaches, right?
A great player, a great bloke, an awful coach. So you've got many like Brad Fittler, take your instance. There's not many super talented rugby league players that have become great coaches, have there? In fact, the super coaches, who are the super coaches that have been around fully? Jack Gibson, was he a super player? No. Craig Bellamy, was he a super player?
No.
Wayne Bennett, was he a super player?
No.
Brent Robertson, was he a super player?
No. Sheens, no. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So these guys, you don't have to be a super player to be a super coach. But have a look at all these wonderful pundits that we've got on all these TV channels who were super players. None of them could coach their way out of a paper bag. So,
true story. Anyway, let's talk about little Andrew Webster, the actual Warriors coach. We're just going to quickly talk about the embarrassing comment or the embarrassing moment that happened over there, the siren sounding, the 5-second rule. So what I'll do, I've got a snippet of his little press conference and what he talks about, and then I've actually got a snippet of the actual incident itself. So just quickly watch this.
Well, there was a dropout. Chanel says to the referee, there's an advertisement on the screen. He says, ref, how long have I got? I can't see the clock. He says, you got 5 seconds. He kicks it in 2. And as he's kicking it, the siren goes off, blows his whistle, gives a penalty, 2 points straight in front. And then they question and he says, not my fault. So, gifted them 2 points because professionalism around, they don't even know how long to go. When you ask the question, because you can't see it on the clock, and the response is you got 5 seconds and you kick it in 2, that's, I never blow up. That's embarrassing.
All right, so the comments are, one of them says, just hurry up, which is fair enough.
Yep.
Another one, Raider 3327 says, your home game, you control the boards. Sutton should be fined over that shot clock incident. And another one is, don't take so long to take the dropout. You don't need to go right until the last second, right? So what's your take on that one?
Overkill. Look, it happened in the 13th minute of the game. It hardly changed the result of the game. They had so long. That game was tied at the back end of that for so long where either side could have kicked a field goal or done something. And either they screwed up the field goal or dropped the ball. Both teams were guilty of it. No, it didn't change the result. I also don't understand. These sides take so long. So why? You see when sides are, 2 points down with 2 minutes to go, they're rushing to pack scrums, they're rushing to take dropouts, they're rushing to take everything. It's rush. Yet 5 times during the game, they'll waste 30 seconds taking a dropout or packing a scrum to get their breath back. Yeah. So you've wasted 3 minutes that at that back end of the game could very well cost you the try, which is what happens in a lot of these instances. So why not just get rid of the shotgun, just say pack the scrum. If you're not there, well, so be it, we'll pack the scrum without you, mate. And you're penalty for offside. I don't know, but the shot clock for dropouts and scrum packing, I don't know. I don't get it. The ref should just penalise them if they're not going to just pack the scrum and when he deems it ready to go. Now, if the other side's packed the scrum and the other team's mucking around, don't give them 30 seconds. Just say, hey, first warning, pack the scrum, no pack, penalty. Dropout, same thing. The other side's ready in formation, ready for the dropout. Get there, kick it. there's your first warning. If it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I don't really give a shit because sides are just milking that.
It's like what it used to be, right? When the referee say, hurry up, take the kick, you get overrun. And if they didn't take it up to the referee's discretion, he'd go penalty or whatever.
100%, that's what it is. Forget this 30 seconds because sides will take the whole 30 seconds that they've got.
Yeah.
It's like these guys taking penalty kicks from goal 10 metres out right in front and they know they've got 50 seconds or whatever the rule is.
Yeah.
And they'll go back, they'll line it up and then they'll just stand there and wait 40 seconds before walking in and kicking the ball over that somewhere, I could kick it to milk the clock.
Yeah.
It's just
did you see another instance in this game? They were packing a scrum. The Warriors were in the scrum and the Sharks lock forward was running to the scrum and the shot clock went off, the buzzer.
Yeah.
And the Sharks end up getting the penalty.
Yeah.
I thought, how do they get the penalty when they didn't even have everyone in the scrum?
They didn't have the 6 players in the scrum.
Yeah, so that's what I reckon. Take away the shot clock. As I said, it's an absolute time waster.
Correct. You give sides the opportunity to waste 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And then you just take it away and just say, okay, as soon as that team receiving the ball or as soon as if the scrum's packed, one side's packed, at the ref's discretion, if that other side's now delaying, warning, whether it's 10 seconds, 15 seconds, I don't care. Hey, the other side's ready, let's pack the scrum, and they want to figure out, first warning, next time penalty, pack the scrum. Don't adhere to it, see you later, penalty.
Yeah.
Same as a dropout, something like that. Put it back on the rest, none of this shot clock. Every ground manager's different. You ever look at you watch TV sometimes, and you'll watch the clock, the referee put his hands up to stop time, whether it's for the scrum, whether it's for, an injury, and the clock will still be ticking there for 10, 15, 20 seconds before it actually stops.
Yeah.
So ground managers at every ground, depending on the situation. Now, we want to talk about corrupt referees. Well, I'm sure some ground managers could cop a bit of feedback about how they just let the clock tick and, oh, sorry, let's stop it. There's no one checking that.
Yeah, it sort of goes unnoticed, sort of swept under the carpet.
It does, because nobody's looking at it, You're watching the screen and everything else. Nobody's looking at the bottom right unless you've got 15 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
Save the hassle, man. Get rid of the shot clock and just ref's discretion. If you're stuffing around, here's your warning, penalty. Like they do in park footy, mate. And there's no shot clock in park footy.
Yeah. All right, well, speaking of park footy, this is something you wanted to talk about. More about the inconsistency of suspensions and stuff like that. So we've got, one rule across the board. That's what we require. We need consistency, fairness, respect. That's how the game wins. And basically, if you do the crime, you need to cop the time, right? So
yep.
What's your spin on it?
Well, this was in regard to, and I want to put a disclaimer out. The story that sort of brought this forward was the issue in Penrith. It only came out last week in the Penrith Junior Rugby League, where I think there are 6 suspensions handed out. Some teams were banned for 3 rounds and 2 rounds, and certain players, clubs have been banned and everything else. And look, this isn't just a Penrith footy thing. This is the one that came out in the media. It happens in every junior league that's running around. And there's a perceived bias where some of the lesser clubs who you do see, you see some of the, I don't want to mention in particular clubs because, I think most people in Penrith Junior League will know the clubs I'm talking about, and in other junior competitions around New South Wales and probably in park footy, bush footy and everything else, where the better players will go to certain clubs, the richer clubs, registration's paid for, more chance of representative honours, you recognise the scouts and selectors seem to go to these clubs' games. Now, those players that go to these better clubs, they want to win premierships, they want to be noticed by selectors, are the ones that aren't going to do all the cheap shots and the dog shots, and they don't want to be suspended. They don't want to come across like that in front of selectors. Yet some of these other clubs who lose their good players to these other clubs, they've got a point to prove, haven't they? So they want to come out there and beat them. They really haven't got ambition to go any further as such. You know, they're not going to be selected in Penrith representative sides or, you know, South Sydney representative, Parramatta representative sides, whatever club you want to talk about. So they will go out there with an attitude of going, okay, I'm out there, I'm just going to belt someone today. I'm in a bit of a mood. I'm just going to go out and clobber someone. What are they going to do? They're going to get a 2, 3, 4 week suspension, let the team down. They're not going to win the comp anyway, and it's not going to affect their representative chances, is it? And this happens everywhere, mate. Like in some of the junior footy, I used to go to a hell of a lot of junior footy. This doesn't just start in senior footy. This starts at junior level, mate, down at under 11s, under 12s. It's disgusting, mate. And the parents living through their kids, mate, and the parents on the sideline, and they just egg it on. It's absolutely crazy. I've been a coach for many years across a whole heap of different sports, both male and female. It's terrible, mate. Parents on the sideline egging it on. The kids thinking, you know, I walk off, come on, son, you've got to be tougher. You've got to go snap that guy. You've got to go belt that guy, you know. Meant to be encouragement, but, you know, then they'll go out there and try and take a bloke's head off at junior level. And it just escalates into the senior levels, mate. It's not just rugby league bashing. Netball, I'm telling you now, some of these fathers and everything who's going to be listening to the show, they will back me up. You go to a local netball court in any district, and the amount of trash talk, the amount of crap that goes on a netball court, it's atrocious, mate. You know, we've seen the anti-Semitic one, I think, in a netball game over in Randwick only a month or so ago. If they think that's a one-off, you go out west, mate. Go out to some of these local western suburbs comps. You know, I don't see it that much now. I'm in the AFL. I don't see it that much in the AFL. But rugby union, it happens. Soccer, we know what the soccer is like. You know, you see it every week on the news with the soccer games. But NRL, some clubs seem to always cop the suspensions, and the other club, you know, a good friend of mine, I've spoken to a few people about it, a real good friend of mine who didn't want me to mention his name, said that 2 guys got into a fight. One guy started the fight. This was in a reserve grade game only a month ago, I think it was. 2 guys, one guy was egging on. Actually, he was being egged on from the sideline from supporters of one of the more popular clubs. Egged on. They started to abuse this player who was playing on the wing, get in his face. The player turned around and said, hey, you know, shut up. The player from the who was represented by the family on the sideline having a go at him from the higher profile club came over, threw a punch, started the initial fight. The guy who was copping it ended the fight.
And he got a suspension.
he copped a 6-week suspension for basically defending himself against supporters, and this player who was defending didn't hear all the crap that was going on the sideline. All he seen was this player saying, hey, he was copping a godful and just told him to shut up. He's come over to defend his family, whether he reckons he didn't know what's happening on the sideline. And yeah, he started. The other guy finished. He gets 6 weeks. One gets 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
So that's the, you know, you do the crime, do the time, mate. You know, was one thing worse than the other? Probably not. They should have both got the same or both got nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the people locally at Penrith are saying. You know, a lot of the guys I speak to. So, but I'm telling you, it's not just a Penrith thing. It's not just a rugby league thing. It's a whole junior footy thing. It's sad, mate. You go out to any junior sports game now, fully. You know, your boys are involved in local footy. You probably see parents on the sideline and some kids that try and big note themselves on the footy field at junior level. And
as you said, it's a lot of parents living their dream through their kid, and basically what happens.
That's right.
They don't like seeing their kids get probably tackled aggressively or late, or and the parent will react, and then if it's the shoes on the other foot, if their kid does a big hit or a big collision, they they get excited and, you know,
Yeah.
they start, it's, you know what I mean? It works both ways. And
Of course it does. Look,
that's how half the drama does start. And then
you feel for some of the kids, though, don't you? Because a lot of the kids, like, there's some kids out there that aren't as talented as the others, obviously, right?
yeah,
But they're out there, they want to impress mum and dad. Mum and dad take them down to the footy. So you can imagine dad, I want to see you hit someone today and be proud, because he's probably not going to score or try or do anything decent. So he's sat out there trying to impress mum and dad so much that he's probably going to, you know, do a bit of a cheap shot to get mum and dad's attention, or dad's attention mainly in footy circles. Get his attention and go, hey, Dad, you see me belt that guy? And Dad's probably going to pat him on the back and say, well done, not say, hey, mate, that was a cheap shot. You know, I want you to hit the guy legit next time. Don't. But most parents don't, do they? It's kids trying to impress their parents. Kids just want to impress their parents any way they can, because the parents do put a huge amount of pressure, you know, on their kids.
It's living the dream, right?
Exactly. And they put so much pressure on, because, you know, they had a failed career or whatever. And we all want what's best for our kids, don't we? Yep. You know, and you know, I was probably the opposite with mine. I was harder on my, you know, on my boy especially. I always made him train, but I always made him be respectful on the field and say, you know, you don't ever give it to the opposition. I don't want that. I don't want cheap shots. You know, when Caitlin was doing netball and all that, I want them to play the best of their ability and try hard. I don't want them to leave anything in the tank, but I don't want, you know, them to basically, you know, we could say distort playing fairly and everything else. You know, I see junior cricket when I used to coach junior cricket, mate, where, oh man, it was terrible. Like some of the things out west that are happening now in junior cricket. Once again, I'm not going to mention certain nationalities or anything. It's terrible, mate. The amount of sledging and the amount of pressure that these kids are under, the amount of sledging that is on the field in different languages, which we've grown accustomed to actually knowing what they're talking about because we've been around it for so long. And there's no repercussions for it. Actually, the parents of the other teams are the ones yelling the shit out from the sidelines, mate. Yeah. It's worse. Cricket's terrible for it now. You know, go to any junior cricket game, and senior cricket's not as bad. But junior cricket, oh my goodness gracious, man. It's got terrible. So that'll be the next big one where we're going to start talking about park brawls in junior cricket, I think.
All right, we'll move on to our last topic. I want to talk about the Socceroos against Turkey the other day. Apparently we had no chance of competing. We're a very average team. We're the weakest team in the group. Turkey will be completely dominant. So what we'll try and do is get a video.
I think that we dominate tomorrow the game because we have more qualities and more talented team. So we will see tomorrow what happens.
And I know you all feel
tomorrow.
Coming up against Australia, what do you know about them and how do you beat them?
Yeah, of course, our coach analyzed them with us together. So we know that they're a physical team, that they're good on the corner kicks and the free kicks because they are tall and strong. But I think that we dominate tomorrow the game because we have more qualities and more talented team. So we will see tomorrow what happens.
First one at the top there, Danny Krankovic. This is a familiar name. I'm wondering if it's the same fella that used to play for Parramatta, but he says
it might be.
classic Turkey, good at nothing. Rowan Simpson says
their kebabs are quite nice.
Yeah, Rowan Simpson says get a dog up here. Midnight pursuit. Doesn't domination mean scoring a goal? And Bully 1973 says he forgot to mention good on the counter. So it was good to see the Socceroos win. It wasn't stylish, but it was a solid effort. They had a dig, and they made the country proud, Stoney.
They did. Good on them. Look, nothing the Turkish bloke said and what is probably any different to any Australian soccer supporter's been saying for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe more, 10 years, mate, since our golden generation moved on. The Australian soccer team has been ordinary. On paper, Turkey should have smashed us, right? But you can't come out and gloat and then double down and still say after the game, after you've lost 2-0, instead of acknowledging the Australians, okay, they done well, they done better than we thought. The captain came out after the game and said, Did you not watch the game? We dominated for 82 minutes of the game, and all they done was defended and scored 2 goals on the counter-attack. Who cares, mate? It's a results-based sport, isn't it? No, everything's results-based in World Cup soccer. Bad luck, you lost. Good on the Socceroos. I'm not the greatest fan of Australian soccer anymore. I think we've lost our way a little bit, and coming through the A-League and the local leagues and everything else. But I'll always support Australian sport, no matter what. I don't watch them. I don't watch them on TV, apart from the World Cup. I don't watch the Matildas play. Unless they're in a really big game. Good luck to them. I'll support them, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm a huge supporter of Australian soccer. And what those fans, that American dude, like, why are we arguing up and upset with what the American dude said? Who really cares? Americans like that, aren't they? They're cocky bastards, the Americans, at the best of things, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're over the top.
Correct. So who cares, mate? All that is ammunition for our guys to perform and try and prove him wrong. I don't get why Aussie fans and everything are so upset about it. It's more the players that have to react, not the fans.
Yeah.
Fans just celebrate when they win, mate. It was a great win against Turkey. Good on them. I celebrated with the rest of the people. I was actually getting paid to watch it work. It was even better on a Sunday. But I don't understand why we're arcing up over it. Good on them. Now they've got the big game on. What is it? Is it tomorrow?
No, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning when they play against the Americans. Well, that's the old put up or shut up game. That one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And really, what have the Aussies got to lose? No one expects them. The Americans certainly don't expect to lose to them, do they?
No.
All the pressure's on the Americans because they just think they're going to walk over the top. They've told them they're going to. Well, we're a layup, I think they were saying, in basketball terms. Easy basket, we're a layup, easy win, easy kill. Well, the Australians could put an end to America's World Cup dreams on Saturday morning if they beat them. So,
I think the Socceroos, I believe, is the only, especially in the World Cup, is the only team, an Australian team that unites the whole country when they're doing well.
Yeah.
Everyone believes the Matildas are good, right? But not everyone's a big fan of women's sport, right? Which is understandable. Yeah. Each their own. But as I said, the Socceroos, it's the only sport, the only national team that unites the whole country. And the amount of people I've heard over the last few days going, "Oh yeah, I'll be up at 5 o'clock on Saturday to watch the Socceroos." That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if they lost against Turkey, that audience probably halves.
Of course it does. And if they lost to Turkey, what would everyone have said? Fully exactly the same thing as what the Turkey bloke said and what the American guy said and what all the media pundits and Aussie fans have been saying. That they come out and won was awesome. Good on them.
Yeah.
But I'm not offended by anything these other people. I don't think anyone should be offended, just the players. The players have got, they're the ones that use it as motivation to come out and beat the Yanks on Saturday morning. Now, I will say, though, there is another team that rivals the Socceroos when they're doing well at a World Cup, and it's the Wallabies. As much as I hate watching rugby union, man, I can't watch it. I will watch the Wallaby if they're doing well. But they're a long way off that, aren't they? So it's been a few years since they've been doing well. But when they're doing well, the whole nation watches them.
When an Australian team is doing well, especially at a World Cup, regardless of what sport it is, you're probably going to set your alarm at 1 o'clock in the morning and get up and watch them. But when they're not doing so well, no one sort of, it's only the diehards that'll get up.
Exactly right.
And what you said about the Wallabies is true. Like, especially for me, I'll only watch them.
Yep.
In a big game in the World Cup, and unless it's the semi-final or the final, I'm not setting my alarm for early hours of the morning to watch it, unless I'm getting home from somewhere and it's just starting. You know what I mean? So,
100%. Like, I'm the type of idiot that will jump on there. Like my wonderful, mighty relegated West Ham, mate. I was one of those stupid idiots that got up at 1 o'clock in the morning for the last game to watch them win and still get relegated. So, I'm one of those fans.
whilst I was watching the game on Sunday against Turkey and cheering them on and getting excited when they scored. As for this Saturday at 5 o'clock start, I won't be setting my alarm, but
You'll be hungover. What are you talking about?
If I'm happy to, if I'm awake at the time, I definitely will watch it. So
Yeah, that's it. That's it. If I'm awake, I'll be watching it, and if I'm not setting the alarm, I might watch the replay or check the highlights and see if I want to watch the replay.
So good luck to them anyway.
I hope they do win. Full support for them. But yeah, it's the World Cup anyway. It's a bit of a farce now, isn't it? Haven't they got a quarter of the nations in the world playing in it now? They've got freaking 60 sides or something.
Well, I don't know how you can have a country that's only got a population of 150,000 in a World Cup. And the biggest World Cup sporting event.
Yeah, mate, you get countries that are in war-torn countries and everything playing in it. How do you put it together a soccer side when all your soccer fields are blown up? And well, I don't know how they do it. Yeah, to their credit, I will say, they've been welcomed into the United States. The Iranians and Iraqis and the Congo is a Democratic Republic of Congo are there or something as well.
Yeah.
I used to watch a wonderful quiz show called Pointless, mate, and that was always a pointless answer because nobody ever knew of the Democratic Republic of Congo before that show, I don't think.
Yeah, and to be fair, I still don't know.
No, that's right. I just knew it was Congo, but apparently, no, that's the country, Democratic Republic of Congo. So, God, I think they had a draw yesterday morning or something, which is...
Yes, they did.
That's a big result, or was it this morning? I can't remember, against one of the bigger sides.
Yeah.
Good on them.
All right, so just a reminder to everyone that we're on YouTube, Facebook. Like and subscribe, share along, give us some feedback, all your comments, opinions. We want to hear your thoughts. Tell us what you think. If you've also got a topic that you'd like us to ramble on about, put it in the comments.
Road tips, mate. We need some tips as well. We're awful punters, so if they've got a tip for us, mate, give us a little tip in the comments as well. That'd be handy, a decent one. Their tip might be not to do an episode 3, mate. That might be their tip. Who knows?
Well, there you go. The odds on that's probably a bit shorter. Betting might even be suspended on that one. So
yeah, exactly right, mate. Yeah.
But there's that many betting agencies there. I'm sure we'll get on somewhere.
No, we'll probably find one that's closed. You watch.
All right, Tony, that's us done and dusted.
Easy, mate.
I agreed with you some this week, and I'm glad your opinion's like a bud. It stinks. So
that's fine.
Until next week, mate, take it easy and good luck with whoever's playing against the Roosters.